Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the last ever episode of The Extra Point, which starts right now. Everyone, and welcome to the last ever episode of The Extra Point. Me as your host, Kate Woynerowski, and joining me tonight are Daniel Dungan and Griffin Barfield. All right, guys, before we get into everything, we're going to start with some breaking news that just came out of the NBA tonight. Anthony Edwards has been cited with a misdemeanor charge for throwing a chair around and hitting two women last night after their loss to the Denver Nuggets. So he could actually face a potential of 18 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. So, guys, how are you reacting to this breaking news?
You just can't do that. You just can't do that. I know it's a high-intensity situation, but you just can't chuck a chair at people.
It's that simple, right? It's that simple. I mean, come on. And even so, TMZ posted a whole video of him swinging the chair. I mean, I'll be honest, it was not like he did it on purpose or anything, but man, that's just so unfortunate for Anthony Edwards, and that you lost and now you have to deal with this. Oof, good luck to him. All right, guys, let's get into our final episode now. We're going to start with the hashtag game. So, breaking news just coming out of the NFL, shocking news, not really. Aaron Rodgers is officially going to the Jets. So the Jets will get Aaron Rodgers, the 15th pick in the draft, and a 2023 fifth-round pick. And the Packers will get pick number 13, a 2023 second-round pick, sixth-round pick, and a conditional pick next year that will be in the second round. That would become a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the time. So, guys, what are your hashtags for this? Hashtag finally, Griffin.
Finally. Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing about this for the last time we filmed it was going on, so.
I was looking back on the scripts, and it was still there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been that long. They've been speculating.
Honestly, it's a good move for both teams. I think, the Jets go into a win-now situation. Rodgers, he's got, 1 or 2 years left in him before he hits father time, like Brady. And the Packers got 2 firsts, allegedly a first, and they switched their pick with the Jets. So I think it's a good deal, and I'm excited to see how it plays out, especially Aaron Rodgers in a new area.
Daniel?
I said hashtag beast because the AFC East has gotten very, very competitive. Because the Bills are pretty good. I'd say they regressed this offseason, but they still got a chance to bring it back in the draft. The Jets got better with Rodgers and still have their number 15 pick, first-round pick, so they can beef up whatever they want to. And then the Dolphins are skyrocketing last year. And the Patriots, it's like, I don't know what they're doing. It's just, there's just mediocrity going on all over the place with the Patriots. But, I can't count out Belichick in that defense, so.
It's true, and you're a Patriots fan yourself, right? So, very sorry for that, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the Jets do. They've got the potential to use that 15th pick to get a wide receiver, which we all know Aaron Rodgers would really favor. So we'll see what happens there. All right, moving on now to college football news. So on Monday, Colorado had 18 players hit the transfer portal on Monday. Now, Deion Sanders did say that he would bring in new faces and players to the program this year, and my, has he kept that promise. Guys, what are your hashtags for this? Hashtag primetime.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting with the program, you got to go. And, Deion Sanders has a lot planned, obviously with this Colorado team that's seen the bottom of the Pac-12 for a while as of late. But it's weird. 18 players after the spring game. It's it's wild, but hopefully it works for Prime. If not, then...
Doesn't it sound a little sketchy to you all in a sense? Because 18 players just coming out the same day, like it's like he told them that they would not be playing at all.
There was something with the plays or like film that Sanders wasn't giving him film or something like that. I don't know the whole logistics of it, but I just know like there was like restricted stuff.
So it sounded like when he came out and said that it was the video team came out and said we only have so-and-so film from the fall and we have nothing from spring practice. And then after he tweeted that out, it got so much harsh criticism against Deion Sanders that he came out and said it's no big deal. They figured it out. No harm or ill intentions towards Coach Sanders or anything like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well that he was defending Sanders on that too. So, Daniel.
I'm just learning about this. I just said #1win because that's what happened last season. So
a very valid
trust the
point
process. That's all I gotta say. Yeah.
You know what? You have a good point there. I mean, they did go 1-11 for a reason, and Deion Sanders, if he wants to turn around a program, he's got to take away those players who could only win a game. So I get that too. I get both sides to this, really. But it'll be interesting to see how it works out for Colorado this year. All right, moving on now to the NBA playoffs. Man, these playoffs have been really interesting so far. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks being down 3-1 to the Miami Heat after Jimmy Butler dropped 56 points last night in Game 4. Actually, mark my words, it was Monday night. But still, guys, what are your hashtags for this? Daniel, go first on this.
What?
What happened?
What happened? Yeah. What happened? Wasn't Milwaukee like the 1 seed?
Yes.
What? How are they 1-3 right now? And how did this dude I've never heard of score 56 points?
Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
I ain't never heard of him.
You mean the COVID star of the bubble, Jimmy Butler?
COVID man.
Nope.
Wow, Griffin.
He's the GOAT playoff player. There's been two like historic playoff performers that I will argue with like anybody. Is that Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler are the two best playoff players ever. I mean, we saw we saw Kawhi with the Toronto run, the Game 7 against Philly, the shot. And then we saw Jimmy in 2020 taking a Heat team that frankly didn't really have much talent to the NBA Finals. I think the Heat will win this based off Jimmy Butler, and this team as an 8 seed, they can go to the finals. I could see it with him at the helm, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I can see it too, actually, and it'd be just like their 2020 run, because I think they were a 5th seed at that point when they went to the finals. I know they were a lot lower as well, and back in their 2020 run as well. So, but you do bring up a good point there, Kawhi Leonard. Gosh, he is missed because of him being hurt, he didn't get to play, and who knows how the result would have been different against the Suns, but the Suns took that series as well. So it'll be interesting to see. All right, guys, the Lakers. Some people were predicting this, but they're up 3-1 against the Grizzlies right now, and the Grizzlies are the number 2 seed in the West. I mean, guys, what are your hashtags for this? Daniel, go for it.
Win when it matters. They've been pretty average all season, and now they're 3-1. So congratulations, LeBron.
No, it's all LeBron, right? Griffin.
I said cry, Dylan, cry. Obviously, Dylan Brooks, Grizzlies player, calling out LeBron James. You can't do that. You can't, out of any player in the NBA, you cannot call out LeBron James because he will make you eat your words, and Dylan is currently eating his words. He's not even talking to the media. So I just think he just made a bad choice. Grizzlies are down 3-1 in a hole. I don't really know what you do there. I think the Lakers win.
Yeah, I think the Lakers will take it as well. I mean, no matter what age you criticize LeBron at, it's not going to matter, okay? Really, I think if we've learned anything, do not ever count LeBron out, especially with this Lakers team. It'll be interesting to see if they can take on the Grizzlies and take them down and ultimately win the series. So it'll be interesting to see. My question to you, if you know this, is John Morant back for the Grizzlies? Mm-hmm. Okay, then yeah, they're toast. Because if he's back and they're still down 3-1, then I don't know what to tell you there. So be interesting to see there. All right, we're moving on now to my favorite topic ever on the show. It's my last one, and I'm so glad this happened just in time for me to graduate. Dan Snyder officially sells the Commanders. Well, they got a bid, but I think it's pretty much a done deal. $6 billion by the Josh Harris group, 76ers owner, Devils owner, New Jersey Devils hockey. So pretty exciting stuff if you're a Commanders fan like me who has been waiting for this day for ages. Guys, what are your hashtags for this?
It's the Braveheart freedom.
Freedom! Daniel, elaborate on the freedom.
Man, have y'all suffered under Dan Snyder. Dear Lord. The amount of just questionable decisions from, like, players to coaches to just the name of the team. Like, thank God he finally sold it. Y'all have a chance to come back now. It's going to take about a decade to fix his wrongs, but...
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky if it's a decade. I know. It's bad. Griffin.
I said finally ×2. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. Dan Snyder is obviously a very public figure when it comes to NFL ownership, but I'm glad that he's gone. I'm glad, obviously, even though like they're in my division as a Giants fan, I'm excited to see where this team goes because they have plenty of potential, and with a new owner, they could be steered into a different direction, which I'm excited to see. I'm always good for a little competition.
Oh, I agree. I'm very excited as well. Shout out to former host Wide Street. We've been going through it with this team, and I think we see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Griffin, you're all right. It's finally, once again, this is the type of episode apparently that just everything's coming to a head and concluding. So pretty interesting there. All right, guys, we're going to conclude this hashtag game and move on to our buy or sell. So let's start off with the NFL draft. So buy or sell. The number one pick in the draft will be a quarterback. Okay, we're buying it. Interesting. Griffin, go first on this one.
I mean, Carolina have the number one pick unless they trade it, which I don't think they do. I think you go franchise QB, whether it be Bryce Young, whether it be C.J. Stroud, whether taking a shot deep, go Anthony Richardson. I don't think anyone else but a quarterback is being selected as the number one overall pick.
All right. Daniel.
There's just too much value in the quarterback class, and they're desperate for a quarterback, so they have to pick one.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I honestly have no clue how this draft is going to go because it seems like prospects are being thrown around everywhere in mock drafts, so I truly do not know how it will end up, but let's make a never prediction. Buy or sell? C.J. Stroud will go higher in the draft than Bryce Young. Are we buying or are we selling this?
You said Stroud over Young?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it did come out recently. We know Stroud has been ahead of Young, and then he scored 18% in the Wonderlic. So, ooh, we're selling. Okay. So, Daniel, go first with this. Why do we think that Bryce Young will go higher than C.J. Stroud?
It's just how quickly Bryce Young processes the game in high football IQ. I trust what Bryce Young has done in college more than what C.J. Stroud has done. And the history of what Alabama quarterbacks have done in the league recently versus what Ohio State's done, I trust Bryce Young a lot more than I do with C.J. Stroud.
Okay. Griffin.
I said so as well. I've never really fan of Ohio State quarterback. Like Daniel said, they don't really have that much success. But, I mean, if you're going from Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, all those Ohio State alum, and you go right into, like, I don't even know the Panthers' top receiver.
That's so fair.
I'm sorry to the Panthers fans out there, but I just think Bryce Young is a better choice. He's the better NFL-ready quarterback, and as a Panthers team, you need an NFL-ready quarterback. So I'd much rather take Young.
All right, that's a very good point there, considering the Panthers. I mean, who are their core wide receivers? Do we know?
No, because they traded more, right?
Yeah, they did. Elijah Moore. So, I mean, good argument. So, Bryce Young, we know he could do better with less talent. So, there you go. Good evaluation there. All right, guys. We're talking about the Commanders once again. Guys, this is my team, and I like talking about them clearly. After the Commanders declined his fifth-year option, Chase Young will be traded during the draft. Buy or sell this? Ooh, okay, we are selling. And we're buying. Okay, so we got a split here. Griffin, go first. Why are we selling this?
I'm going to sell it strictly because I know Chase Young has battled some injury. So you don't really know how to pay him. I think this is his statement year. And frankly, I don't think you'd get more value from trading Young than you would next year if he does have a breakout year. So it's a very weird situation the Commanders are in, but I don't know if you trade him. I think that you see the value that he could give you at this end of the season. But if you want to fully rebuild, by all means, trade him during the draft and see what you can get. But I don't think they will.
All right. Daniel?
I said buy because the NFL draft does get a little crazy.
It does.
And with the whole change in ownership, they might be a little desperate to make a big splash in the draft. I can see, not wanting to pay a ton of money to the guy's name. I forget. This guy.
Chase Young?
Chase Young.
Yeah. I could see them not wanting to do that and just getting rid of the contract before it starts.
No, that's fair. I mean, as a Commanders fan, I don't know how to feel about this because I love Chase Young. He is definitely a great leader on the team. However, I can tell you he has definitely not been as impactful of a player the last couple seasons. So, I mean, if they can get someone that is a proven defensive player to replace him, then sure, by all means, I would trade him. But if they can't, then I would definitely stick with him. So, I don't know. I'm torn on this one. And I think it'll be interesting to see the direction they go in tomorrow night with the draft. So, we'll see. All right, moving on now to some other transfer portal news. So, Notre Dame quarterback Tyler Buchner, who started for the Irish this year and now is competing against Sam Hartman, former Wake Forest quarterback, is transferring. Guys, buy or sell? He will transfer to Alabama. Ooh, okay, we're buying this. All right.
Who's Alabama's current quarterback?
That's a great question. So I'll give you context on this one. So Alabama right now has a quarterback competition between Jalen Milroe, who played last year, and then Ty Simpson, who is Klubnik's year, Kate Klubnik's year, sophomore.
Rising sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and apparently in the spring game, they both struggled and threw a total of 3 interceptions in the spring game. So Alabama fans are definitely a little weary of both of these quarterbacks. And Nick Saban said if they could find someone in the portal who has high talent, then they will get him. So everyone thinks the timing on this one's a little suspicious, given that also Notre Dame's former offensive coordinator, is now the new offensive coordinator at Alabama. So, given my facts that my rant that I just went on, are we buying or selling that he will transfer to Alabama?
Well, that Shark Tank pitch just made me want to buy it. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Griffin, why are you buying it?
Just because what you said, I think Buchner already has the chemistry with the new Alabama offensive coordinator, obviously going back with Notre Dame. And, if you need a spark plug, if obviously Monroe and Simpson, that's his name.
Yep.
If they're not living up to the hype, why don't you throw a third quarterback in there and they all duke it out? So I'll buy it. I think, Bama wants to stay best of the best, stay at the top, go with what they can be given.
No, that's true. I think it's interesting because I feel like I'm on the other side of this, even though I just went through a whole rant of this. I mean, it is too coincidental that this is happening, but at the same time, I feel like Alabama could say, Patrick Driscoll just came in.
Go.
No way.
I told you I was going to make it. Let's go.
Guys, we have General Manager Patrick Driscoll here on the set, and he will be making a late addition to the show.
I need a mic.
No, you do.
I'm going.
Oh, no, you're good. No, we have good timing because we are just literally talking about nerdy quarterback Tyler Buchner transferring in the transfer portal. You know that.
Oh, yeah. No. Sam Hartman, clear #1 quarterback choice.
Well, yeah.
He was now going to get an ounce of playing time this semester, not one.
Okay. Buying or selling? Is he going to transfer to Alabama?
Bama? I mean, he's just going to be backup too there, right?
Well, that was my point I was going to come up with, but I also said it's a coincidence that Nick Saban came out after their spring game and said if there's a high-talent quarterback in the portal, he'll take the person, so.
I think Buchner, if he goes anywhere, like, it might be somewhere in the West Coast. Because Bama, he's just going to drop down the depth chart too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we saw the guy's pretty mid, honestly. So,
No.
I don't know.
No.
Pretty interesting scenario, though.
No, it is a very interesting scenario given that, you know, I have no idea. It'll be interesting just to see how Buchner where he will go, first of all, and how Nick Saban will deal with that quarterback competition with Ty Simpson and Jalen Monroe. Patrick, I'm also going to ask you, we were just going through some NFL draft questionnaires, and my first thing I asked was that the #1 pick in the draft will be a quarterback. Are we buying or selling that?
Totally buying.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the way the game goes. It's all about the quarterback. You saw how it went with.
So he's buying the fact that there will be a quarterback tomorrow as the #1 pick.
Yes. That. 100%. I mean, #1 pick is all about the quarterback. You saw the Bears dealt that pick. They had so many offers, and Carolina gave them literally like their whole franchise, it felt like, for that #1 pick. So,
That's
Bears won that trade, by the way. Bear down. And,
I kind of agree with that. I think the Bears will be good the next couple of years for it. And then do you think C.J. Stroud will go higher in the draft than Bryce Young?
No.
Okay, that's what they said too. And then the last thing we were split on initially was that the Commanders today declined Chase Young's 5th-year option. Will he get traded tomorrow night during the draft, given that he has injuries?
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does have injury problems, but, you know, he's still a young guy. Very valuable to the franchise. So, you never know. It's the NFL draft. In the past, we've seen so many crazy things happen, so it's definitely worth keeping in mind. But if I'm the Commanders, I'm keeping him. I mean, he's just a beast.
All right. Good analysis there. All right. Moving on now to our last topic of the extra point, just in time for you, Patrick, to roll in here. We're going to talk about some women's basketball. LSU women's basketball. So buying or selling that they will get both Hailey Van With, who starred Louisville point guard, who guided them towards an Elite Eight this year, and Anissa Morrow, who was an All-American during her freshman year at DePaul in 2022 from the transfer portal. And by the way, Morrow's finalists are LSU, USC, and South Carolina. So they are in the top 3. Griffin, why are you selling this?
Is Angel Reese staying? Yeah, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She is.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good problem for LSU. What are you going to do with all that star power if you do sign them all? Mm-hmm. So for those 2 players, it comes down to like playing time. Are you going to get enough playing time? And if there's that much star power, I think they'll at least get one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will the other. That's kind of my whole thought process behind that.
Okay. That's a good analysis there. Patrick. You just really
I was working on my mic. Daniel can go on this one real quick.
I'll sell as well because that's a lot of value in one shot. I don't think they'd all go to LSU
Okay.
because there's other big programs too, like UConn and South Carolina, that they can jump into.
That's true. Yep, that's very true. Patrick?
Yeah, going off of Daniel, I think LSU is going to be one of those teams, you know, we'll look back and be like, wow, like LSU, like that was fantastic. Angel Reese, like, you know, love the whole storyline between her and Caitlin, by the way. Like, that's just great for the game. But anyway, like, there's just a typical powerhouses. You got UConn, like Daniel said. Notre Dame's traditionally really good. Tennessee's traditionally really good. And, yeah, I just can't see LSU just continuing that star power. in the next
Yeah.
couple years.
I agree with that. I think they will get, at the 2, I think they would get Van Wyck just because they need a point guard, but they definitely don't need a Morrow when they already have an Angel Reese. So I think that's how it will go. But I could be wrong. You never know. But that officially wraps up the extra point for me. So, yeah, that's it. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
The GOAT.
Thank you. Yeah. That's all you guys. Thanks so much, guys, for taking a chance on me, for coming to the extra point every week. I really appreciate it because it's something that I've loved doing since my freshman year. I've literally been doing this since my first week here. So I love doing the extra point. It just gives me such a great community, and I'm really lucky. So, and thank you all for tuning in as well. I always appreciate the support that you guys give me. So that's all for the extra point. So bye, everyone.